Tracy from Boy Mom Crochet Life here again, and today I'm going to teach you a very quick tutorial on how to do the Tunisian simple stitch. Now, to do this, I'm going to assume that you know how to do things like chain and regular crochet. If you don't, I'll have a link down below to some of my beginner videos that you can watch. So let's get started. First off, you're going to need a Tunisian crochet hook. You can use a fixed hook like this one, with just a long hook. It still has the crochet end. It's not to be confused with the knitting needle, although I know it does look very similar. And it's got the stop on the end to make sure your stitches don't slide off. But I prefer to work with this one. It's a cabled hook with the stop on the end also, just because it's a shorter hook here so it doesn't bash into the table. This one can make it kind of hard. So either one will work. I'm using an 8mm hook with a worsted weight yarn because Tunisian crochet tends to curl, and a way to combat that is to use a larger hook size. You don't have to use one this size, but be aware that it will probably curl more and it will be harder to work with. So first off, it's the same as you do in regular crochet. You need to make a slip knot, and we're going to chain. We're going to chain 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so in Tunisian crochet, the first stitch is always this loop that's already on your hook. So you already have one stitch. And it's usually recommended that you work in the back bump of your chain, because then you have a more finished look of this V-stitch part of your chain on the bottom. And it'll match the looks that you get on the sides and on the top, all the way around. So we're gonna work in the back bump, and we're gonna start just pulling up loops. So it's kind of hard to work into this first one. Got a little tight on my chain. Let me remake that one. It is important to make sure your chains are loose enough that you can work into them too. Okay, so there we go. All we're gonna do is yarn over and pull up a loop. Now we'll go into our next chain, insert yarn over, pull up a loop. And we're gonna do this all the way down the chain, because Tunisian crochet is worked in 2 passes. So this is our forward pass. And this way we are getting a stitch in each chain. We're not skipping any. There are some you can skip and do a yarn over for like a mesh, but we're not doing that today. We're doing Tunisian simple stitch. So, and this is probably the hardest part of the whole thing, just because working into the back of the chain can be kind of challenging, especially with yarn that's kind of splitty like this one is. Go. And our last one. Okay, so now we should have 11 stitches on our hook because we worked into all 10 of the chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's exactly what we wanted. And now the way that you start your reverse pass is you yarn over and you pull through just 1 as a chain 1. And try to keep that loose, because at least I know for me, this end ends up getting quite loose just from how the hook works. So if you keep it looser on this side, you'll keep it more even all the way throughout. And then the next step is to yarn over and pull through 2. And you're gonna do that all the way to the end. Yarn over and pull through 2. And so that is your first row of Tunisian simple stitch. The next rows will be a lot easier because instead of having to work into this chain, you're just going to work under this post for Tunisian simple stitch. You're going to skip this one right here unless you're trying to increase or something, because this stitch correlates with the stitch that's already on your hook. So if you add one there, you're going to add, and you're going to end up with a trapezoid piece if you add one there every time, or actually you'll end up with just a funky triangle because it'll only be increasing on one side. So we're going to go into this stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and that's all you do all the way down. You just go under this very front post and yarn over. Make sure you're not going in between posts. You don't want to go there, or in between stitches I should say. You don't want to go in between posts because these are all different stitches on their own. So you're just staying on the front, going under the post, pulling up a loop. That's it for the Tunisian simple stitch. The one last little bit is to make sure on your last stitch, which would be this guy here, you don't just want to go under one loop because then you'll have kind of an ugly look on the side. It won't look as nice as if you go under these two loops. And it's not much harder to do, and it gives you a really nice finished edge so you don't have to worry about borders later if you don't want to. Okay, and then you just chain one, yarn over, and pull through two all the way back. And that is just kind of a quick lesson of how to do the Tunisian simple stitch. If you were looking for a pattern that uses Tunisian simple stitch, check out my Baby Gamer Levy, which I'll link down below. Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next time.